Francia, are you gay?
Honestly, and I'm gonna say this.
There was a lot of delay there.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm proud of who I am. I cannot fake it because I don't owe nobody an explanation. However,
when Bridget said she can slip me down, I was like, damn, Bridget.
And women get labeled too.
Women can bounce across the line of being homosexual or heterosexual. They can cross the line whenever they feel like. Now, there's women
a little bit more.
Aquaba, everybody. There we go. All right, so it's enough. We know. We can tell the Ghanaian ladies are repping. But welcome to the new episode. Thank you all for tuning in. We have new topics, so we're ready to see what the topic is.
Okay. Dear African Millennials, is sexual orientation determined at birth? Are people born gay?
Who's it from?
Who's that from? Who gave us the first question?
This is from Anonymous from Lagos.
Of course.
Okay, Lagos.
Of course it's anonymous because it's in Lagos.
That's interesting. I don't know. I don't think a woman has a gay embryo. Like, I don't think there's such thing as gay sperm and gay eggs. Like, I don't think that's possible. I do think your sexual orientation starts at a young age. I think you start realizing you're into girls or into guys when you are into the environment of like girls and guys, when it's co-ed, like, preschool, like, kindergarten, you start being around, people like the same age as you start to play with them and realize who you like the best. I don't think when you like a little, innocent baby, you already know you're gay. Like, I believe that you are choosing to be gay. I don't think you are born gay. Like I said earlier, I don't think that there's such thing as gay embryos or gay sperms. Like, it's something that your environment affects you being gay, the people around you affects you being gay, and your preferences in life affects you being gay. I don't know what point in life that is, but there's no such thing as you being born gay, in my opinion. I don't think that's happening like that.
I think you're born gay. So
really?
To be upfront with it, because it's like, I remember watching some little kids, like some of my younger cousins, and like when they was 3, I knew. I think people are born gay just because it's essentially, we as society are programming you at a young age, what is it you're gonna like, what is it you're gonna do. And for you to have these confines on your life this whole time and for you to do something else is because you felt a need or you felt the urge that you couldn't control. I think the only way to explain that is just, you had to just be born like that. Mm-hmm. Like, just by the little stuff that they did, like, I just knew, because a reason why I think you're born gay is because gender norms, we set, little boys and little girls up to be heterosexual, even from a younger age, even though it doesn't, coincide with relationships, but we do certain things that make them associate, like, oh, you would like a boy, or oh, you would like a girl. And it's like, they later on fight that in their head because they're going against what everyone was taught. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, I mean,
for me, I feel like with this question, it gets tricky because I think that people typically hear this question and think that it implies a binary answer to yes or a no. It's a born this way or you're not that way. Whenever someone asks this question, I get frustrated when you expect me to answer in a binary. It cannot be yes or no. It has to be understood as a spectrum because people oftentimes create boxes and generalizations and assume things of other people. And that's understandable. That's how you move through life. That's how you understand the world. But the issue comes when you try to make sure that everyone fits within those parameters. you can't. I think that's unfair or just not realistic because none of us fit into binaries. I mean, gender and sexuality is a spectrum. If we understand it like that, then we can understand that someone could be 100% attracted to men at 20, but also at 20 they're attracted to women at 20%, and then that can switch and that can change and that can move throughout life. I mean, we are a product of the society we're raised in, but we're also biologically made, and I think that both of these factors work together, and you can't say that one particular thing is the complete thing enacting on you and working on you in terms of what you're using in order to say, oh, I'm attracted to this person or attracted to that person.
I personally feel like, in my opinion, due to like research that I've read online, and I do believe that there's a chemical like reaction or imbalance. I think it can be a mixture of both, but I lean more towards people are born that way because I think that you're made who you are when you were born. Whatever you are destined to be, that decision was made by God when you came from the womb. I do agree that it starts from birth but then at the same time, I do feel like things are sometimes trend. Like I remember in my high school, it was a trend for girls to be gay. To be gay, yeah. Like girls are like, just a social thing, like girls kissing girls, and then I'm gay. But then later on, they, in their adulthood, they're not gay anymore. It was just a phase that they went through. So I think for people who are true LGBTQ, I think that it was from birth. But there are people who do it for trend or do it because that's more comfortable or they're more accepted that way. I know.
Because I was going to say, accepted because of the environment they're in. Yes. If an African woman is pregnant in Africa, she's not going to say, oh, my baby is gay. Like, she's not going to think that the baby's not going to come out gay. I think it's just the environment that we're in is socially more accepted now to be expressive and be, out loud and outspoken and being gay in your sexuality than in the third world countries. So,
but I have friends that aren't, as considered beautiful. I have female friends that aren't considered beautiful. They're a little bit more harsh, a little bit more manly-like. And so they took the route of being lesbian because they felt like no man is going to want me, but I can get a girl. So it can go either way, though.
Like he said, it was, you think it starts from birth?
It starts from birth just because, like I said, the same way you're doing when you're raising a boy child, you're doing everything to make sure that naturally you're doing things that will make them a heterosexual individual. What type of toys you're doing, what type of activities you're forcing. You're literally forcing. First of all, I believe it's a personal choice. And when you said they find out when they like 5 years, that's bullshit. I believe people start getting attracted to other parties or a different partner when they reach adolescent age. Right?
That's a lie.
Like puberty, when they're going through puberty.
That's a lie.
That's true. And then secondly, if they were born to be gay. I believe like God. I believe in God. I believe like even in the Bible or the Quran, God will put it in, or maybe in the future, or maybe I want some gay kids.
I don't think anyone was born gay, because God wouldn't destroy a whole kingdom just because they're gay. I just feel like when people start to grow and then they reach the adolescent age, that's when they find out if they want to be with a girl, or they want to be with a guy, or they want to be with both.
Whatever kids. And
See, that's
no. You know there are gay people in the Bible, right?
There's gay people in the Bible, yes, I believe, but then it didn't say.
But we know the story about the gay people in the Bible, right? Like, come on, we're not gonna play like we don't know that.
Yeah, but they wasn't born.
They was not born gay.
So I feel like it was
God
their personal
banished and destroyed the whole town that had all those gays and lesbians.
So how was
it was not even approved by God.
Yeah, so why would God even make the baby gay in the womb?
It's like, well, that's when you can't cross over. Like
religion is science.
So
I think that's
God shouldn't have banned it because it's not their fault if they were born this way. Why would God banish the land where there's full of gay people?
That's confirming my point. I don't think that you are born this way. I think that's something that you are trying to explore. A baby that's innocent, that doesn't know even ABC, nothing. will not tell me that this other little baby boy, I'm attracted to him.
But not
I
like
don't
that.
think they have that mentality yet.
But I think it's an urge, though. I think it's when you're going through puberty,
yeah,
and you're
I
in
agree.
your 9s and 10s,
And
and you're starting to feel things that
That's
you
when
You
haven't
don't tell
felt
me
before.
like your little niece that's like 3 or 4 years old. My niece is 4 years old. She doesn't even know puberty, but she knows that she liked this guy Adrian at school.
But she
didn't
can
have
change
to
her mind.
She didn't have to hit puberty to know that.
She knows.
What if Adrian's a girl? She didn't know.
And there's the guy.
What if, are you sure?
That was not supposed to be this way.
I don't think people are born. I don't think people are born gay, but I feel like whenever that epiphany or whatever comes into can occur at different stages in their life. I can't really give a definitive answer, but I feel like it's a choice. When the choice happens is what it's open for discussion. I feel like the people that think they were born this way, it just happened earlier for them. They came to that conclusion really, really early. And then some people have explored, have done all, like Jay-Z's mom came out. Like, who knows if she made that decision earlier, didn't act on it, and now it has come out. But everybody's journey is different. It happens in different stages of their lives.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, even with that example of like society having things like pink and blue and having things like structured for like gender roles, I also feel like somebody can like pink and still be straight, but because society kind of like says, oh, then you must be gay, it kind of can influence them in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. No.
But she has a point. I mean, there are scientific, like people. Scientists pay millions of dollars for these type of studies to happen, right? It's all psychology.
Yeah.
So just because Bowel's wearing a salmon-colored shirt,
So he's
it doesn't mean that he's. No, I'm not saying that.
I'm just saying like let's say there's you know how we have pink and blue. You know how we have like, okay, you know, pink and blue. Boys should be playing with cars. Girls should be playing with dolls.
That's the young way of
That's a young way. But I can be straight and like dolls.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because you're gonna look at that and be like, oh man, then maybe he's gay. Like that's gonna influence that boy early on and being like, oh, maybe something's wrong with me. Maybe I am.
But it depends on how you
get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
But sometimes when parents see that, though, they
They'll
start
stop
forcing it even more.
Exactly.
Like they start removing the pinks from the boys because of that fear of their child being gay or a lesbian.
And then that forced removal makes them more curious.
Exactly. Because now they think, what's going on.
But have we not all seen children that may have the opposite sex ways? Like you've never seen a little boy that may seem a little bit more feminine than, or a girl that may seem a little more tougher.
Yeah, but then she can end up being straight. Like there's a lot of girls that are freaking tomboys.
Yeah, I mean, I was like
until they hit puberty and they become like that.
Tell us a perfect example.
But I think
Tell
this
me
again
Taylor's a
is
perfect
pointing
example.
again to my
Teyana
point.
Taylor
She's she's and she's
is
pretty much a
bad.
tomboy, but she's bad.
But this is what I'm saying. I think this is again pointing back to my thing where it's like it's not a matter of it's this or it's that.
Yeah.
It's a spectrum
It's fluid.
because it's fluid and people realize things different times in their life, feel things differently at different points in their life. I mean, there are also people that fall in love with an individual. I can say that I'm straight, but I fell in love with a woman. It just so happened that she was a woman, but I loved who she was. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? So for you to say but with cases like that, are you telling me that I was either born this way or I just made that choice automatically?
Women have that
Okay, but
choice.
but what I'm saying is that it varies. That was us trying to say that you are either born this way or not is not fair. It doesn't go across everyone. It can't speak for
I just
everyone.
feel like you don't necessarily have to be born that way, but your experiences, it happens at different ages, happens at different times, different environments, different things.
What about people, like some female people in general? I don't want to.
please don't say female.
So what about some people who go through like bad breakup? Because I hear that a lot from
And they
females,
rebound.
and I'm like, I've been hurt by a lot of guys, and now I just want to be.
that's a fate.
I just want to be.
That's
women-
also a fate, yeah.
And women get that option to do that. And that's what I'm trying to say. I know he was making a face when I said it already, but that's some of a double standard that is in society. Women can have that option to explore. If you're a man, I mean, no offense,
But
to
some men
there's
don't.
no
Some men do that.
Some men
but
do
you
that.
are, but then you'll be labeled as as such, then you'll be.
And women get labeled too.
Women can bounce across the line of being homosexual or heterosexual. They can cross the line whenever they feel like. Now, there's women
a little bit more easily, but I wouldn't say. I would say that it's a lot easier for women to do it than men, but it's not a thing where it's like, oh yay, willy nilly all the time.
I feel like a lot of women step across that bridge when, not necessarily they're confused, but it may be like a coping mechanism, like some type of experiment that they get a chance to do. And sometimes it does hurt women who are actually, lesbian. Like they often say like, this person used me as like a part of their phase, and that's how they end up losing that type of relationship. But for a man to go across that border, it's just something completely different. You're now crossing a border where you're questioning, you're risking how your perception is going to be to a woman later on.
So do you think, like, to be honest, with just like in following up on this point, would you date a guy that before he was dating that guy?
No.
Exactly.
Right now.
I wouldn't, but I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that it's
Would
easier
anybody
for
here date
women.
a guy right after he dated a guy?
I know a guy that he was telling me he was with a man before we had to end it. Like we were just talking. He was not even holding. He wasn't holding hands, nothing. But we were just getting to know each other because I was interested in him. I don't think I could date a man that has. Okay, if a man is gay, I don't think that's the reason why I would not be dating him. I think a lot of factors have to come with. Of course, you being gay takes you 50%, like 50 points off from the whole chart. Now, you could win the rest of the 50% with other stuff. You could be a great cook, have a lot of money, like you could be good looking. There's so many other ways for you to win, like your points back. And then he has been honest, and he told me that he was with a man before, and he said that was years ago. Not like it matters. But as soon as I knew this, like to me, it's just like psychologically speaking, I felt like, okay, you're also interested in men. I cannot feel comfortable laying in bed with you knowing that you lay in bed with another man. Because I know,
before, though.
Even if that was before, the fact that something before triggered you to be gay means that it could happen again down the line when we are dating. And it's not even about the whole stereotype, oh, you gay, all that stuff. It's not about that. It's just about also like diseases. Like I could contract something because if you absolutely, like you have more chance of getting STDs and STIs with the same sex than. Yes, you do.
Okay, but
yes, you do.
Can I ask you a question?
Different sex. So I didn't feel comfortable about that.
But can I ask you a question? So it's like, regardless of what his sexuality is, he still decided to make a commitment to you, right? He should just be faithful regardless. So why is it now an issue now that he's also attracted to men?
Because the way of how I view my values and the stuff that I have, like with my family and stuff like this, I don't think I could bring a man home that has laid in bed with another man. Like it's just the way I was raised in, and I guess the society that that I'm in, and the environment that affected my way of thinking, that I'm not prepared for this. Now I don't know the future. Maybe down the line I'd be open-minded to crossing ways and probably date a man that has dated a man before. But as of right now, I don't think I could be comfortable. I don't want to lie to him and say, yes, we could do this, it doesn't matter. And then I go around and do stuff because I don't feel comfortable with my man. Like,
if I'm with a woman and she tells me that she had a past with another woman, one, you could kind of pick up on a lot of things or how she feels. You can get a sense of if that was a phase or that she's actually into women. Is it gonna bother me? Not at all, because it's just not. We've become accustomed that's something that is okay. Like There's times where men actually fantasize about another woman on another woman, or wish that two women would take it upon themselves to be with that man.
It's also the male ego too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's like I'm not gonna lose her to another girl. Like,
exactly. I'm a child. I can change her. Like
she's not getting this from anywhere else.
Yeah.
I feel like a guy that's been with other guys is gay. I don't believe that there's an actual bisexual man just because. It's just more things that go along with it because of societal norms that I don't think that you can give that type of labeling to. And it may be a non-progressive way of thinking, but that's just how I feel.
It's the ego. It's the ego, and then you're the.
They say that often.
But the funny thing is, I've actually seen dudes lose their women too.
But even when you lose,
You did?
your
I
woman.
talked about it. I think last.
You lost a bit to a bit.
No, I decided to call it a quit because I was feeling like.
Lost a woman to a woman.
I was like, listen.
What is serious?
Guys,
I wouldn't
show
say I
support,
lose
show
her to a
support.
woman because I ended
got your
it.
backs.
You get what I'm saying? And whoever she was with wasn't even with her at the end of the day. So
get
Wow,
them.
so
See, it sounds so
Are you
like,
proud of yourself?
you push me to have contact.
that's 2 years in Milan, but now 2
years.
2 years ago.
I ain't worried about no more.
This is not my final form.
When I was young and in love, but right now,
Young and
if I'm talking to a girl who likes girls, okay, cool, let's do it. Like,
Of course, you're trying
get what
to
I'm
have that
saying?
whole threesome thing,
Exactly.
right?
No,
With
no,
the
no, no,
females,
no,
like I can
No,
be
but we're
with
talking about building like a family with. Would
There's
you
so
build a
much I
family
can't say
with
right
on
her
that?
her past was her past. I'm sure that most women have, done something with another woman. I'm sure most of you guys have probably kissed another woman.
Francia.
Don't assume that. Don't assume that.
I mean, I have.
Don't
But it
assume
doesn't
that.
affect my
You're
sexual
open about it.
orientation.
Right. But
I'm not saying
but this is
romantically.
but also along this point,
Interesting.
Francia said that she kissed another girl and it doesn't affect her sexual orientation.
It does not.
But the thing is that I feel a way because similar to both of you, I would not date somebody who has been with another man. However, I think that this is only. Not only, but majority of the reason behind that is specifically because one is more acceptable than the other. Say for example, like you don't think that you kissing that girl defined you, but you believe that man kissing that man defined him, and it's a double standard.
And it's the one
It's
that
a
works.
double
It's the
standard.
one that works, and women. There's double standards that people don't like, and some work in men's favor, and some work in women's favor. And that's one of the situations where a woman can essentially have a bridge between her sexuality decisions, as opposed to.
If a guy were to tell me that he's been with another guy, I can't do it. Like it just, and it's a double standard, and it's a double standard that I go along with. Like I feel like in order to get to that stage, like a lot has to be going on psychologically. Like you have to be attracted to another male, like and then do something sexually with them. Like it takes a lot of steps. Like girls, we play with each other or like it's different. I just feel like you've taken it too far, unfortunately. And I know that it's unfair, but that's just how I feel and that's just how I am.
There may be men, we've accepted that, but could be men that are so homophobic that they won't accept that their woman has kissed another woman in their past. It's the person themselves.
I mean, I feel like also even growing up, like sometimes your mom would kiss you in the mouth, it was nothing. It was no, but it's the same thing. It's woman and woman, right?
French is different. It's all
After a certain age, that's where it can lean towards it being a choice because we are all raised within different backgrounds, and there's cultures where it's completely forbidden, and there's dangerous repercussions for being gay or lesbian or bisexual or anything. And then there are homes like in Western world where it can be accepted, and some children don't feel that fear because they know that their parents won't have a problem with it. In Caribbean culture, it's like a big thing about not being gay. Right. They don't talk about it. It's not a thing. It's like it doesn't exist, right? They make it seem like it doesn't exist, but there are gay Caribbean men.
Absolutely.
So they grew up not hearing about being gay and all of these things, but they still have these urges. Where did that come from?
It's the same thing in Africa though, because I can only speak for Nigeria because that's where I'm from, but I've gone to Nigeria and seen people that I knew this person's gay, but everybody around them acts like they don't see the signs, or they don't want to believe. They don't want to believe it because of the culture. The culture doesn't allow for it. It's taboo. The communities over there are very private, and it's like people you never expect. It's entertainers, it's politicians, it's family men, it's people with wives and kids. It's wild, and I never thought. That was the case. But these are the same people that will go to the gay clubs, wherever they are, underground clubs. They're gay. They're underground. Spots where they do what they do, whatever. And you hear about these things, but you never really see it. But being in the entertainment industry over there, you hear and see a lot of things firsthand that the general public doesn't see. So it's the same thing, just like you're mentioning West Indian culture, where it's like, it's not something that's talked about, but it's definitely there. It's politicians, it's entertainers, it's regular people, it's your uncle, it's your son.
I don't think anybody can pinpoint where it starts or how it happens.
It's not a specific place. It's happening everywhere.
Everybody's story is different. Yeah. Everybody's story is different. Everybody's experience is different. But and then it's also it's complicated.
I personally, it's one of those things like I agree with you where it's really fluid. The whole idea of being in a relationship or being with somebody's a pleasure and a comfort thing, And I don't think it should be like you can only get that from this. Yes, the religion aspect is there, but it's in the Bible, things transcend from Old to New Testament. And obviously we're thousands of years from when it was written. So I feel like the label or the idea of, telling somebody how to be happy or who makes them happy is where we complicate things. Like, I would love, I would love for my child to do things the way I want them to do it. But if you're happy and you're not bothering nobody and not killing nobody, more power to you. For someone that's, for a good amount open-minded where I can say, a man's attractive or a woman's attractive, I've never been in that space to want to like chase a feeling with a guy or see where it leads with a male. So I don't know if I chose it, but I'm sure society played a role, but I'm really not 100% sure.
How do you know you like women?
Trust me.
Now, how do you know? Because if it's a choice, right?
You
You made a choice.
You know why? Because
it wasn't. This is why I'm saying this because like I don't agree
actually
that.
one of my exes, they'll tell you.
Okay,
This is why I'm saying that it's not that I'm sticking with is you're born with it. The one common theme that you always hear from people like that know these people from their younger age is I always knew. I always knew.
That's what I'm saying. How do you know?
Some of the signs of why I think someone is gay at an earlier age. Some of those signs that I've seen in like younger kids is their identification with different activities, their responses to their activities. So obviously the first thing that parents do and we all do is, what's the first thing you do with boys? You stick them in sports. Now sports might not be the thing that's gonna be for a lifetime, but sometimes in those little reactions you can tell like what those type of activities, they shy away from those girls that tomboys, and that's what I'm saying, even at a younger age we allow girls to flirt with that line because I know plenty of tomboyish girls who have grown up to be very feminine. Also, the reason why I'm saying that is because like I had a perfect instance. When I was in middle school, I went to a boarding school, and one of my roommates, he was gay. At the time, he wasn't gay, but I knew. We were like, we were 12.
How he wasn't gay at the time?
We were 12. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why. So at 12 and 13, when we were 12 and 13.
But you knew he was gay.
I knew like that some of the behaviors that he did, I knew he was, but he had multiple girlfriends. He was gay. Like I couldn't get a woman at the time. Like, but I never strayed from like, oh, I'm attracted to women.
What was the sign that you knew that he was gay?
There was little things like, even though like, so he had a girlfriend, right? You could see like in the interactions between him and the girl, like it was a little bit more feminine. Like he really didn't. They took him as like, a boyfriend.
But that's the perception of him. Because maybe to him, he was not being gay towards her. He was being.
Hold on, can I just make this clarification?
So he was doing feminine things, right? Shabbat, did you get a manicure?
Yes.
Are you gay?
No.
So, because I just noticed
Can I
that.
make a clarification though? Can we separate sexual behavior from sexual orientation?
Okay,
because
thank you.
what you decide to do with whom you decide to do
At
it
that
with
time
is a
does not
completely
affect you.
different
How about
thing
Prince?
from
If you
what
were
you're
around Prince, you
generally
would say he's
attracted
gay.
to. I believe that a lot of times people confuse what you've decided to do with how you define yourself. I think that actions don't necessarily always play a part in how you might identify. So when we're separating sexual orientation and sexual behavior, it's for a reason. Because I can identify as a straight woman, but I might also be asexual and not be interested in acting on that and getting with men. Vice versa, and that goes across for all the other genders and sexual orientations. You can feel attracted to something and not act on it. That's behavior though, as opposed to orientation. You can't, the colors I'm drawn to or attracted to, I can't control that. I can't control that I might like pink instead of blue or blue instead of pink. I can't control if I'm attracted to one of you guys on set. But I can control what I do with one of you.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. I could sleep with you, but not be feeling you. You feel me?
Ooh, wow.
But that doesn't say.
When Bridget said she could sleep with me now, I was like, damn, Bridget, bring it on. I was like, damn. I didn't know she had it in there like that, but yeah, I'm ready.
Oh my God. But you understand what I'm saying? Oh my God. Stop.
We can do it now. You know, You heard about my pull-out game, so just come ready. You safe. Just come.
My point is, please. But my point is that we like I think we're mixing behavior and like actual attraction too much. Like it's they're separate things.
But to go off your point, the behavior starts with sexual attractions because it has to behavior has to happen in order for you to know if you're interested in that person. You can't just say, I just woke up and I know I'm into women because I'm a man. I'm supposed to be a man and I'm supposed to be into women.
Well,
I think a behavior has to happen.
So it's like that was the confusion that you had right there. It's like. It's not so much. I think it is like you wake up. Like I knew. So like for instance, my first exchange with a woman wasn't until I was 17.
He's talking about himself.
But I knew the whole time. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't. Like all my friends are around me.
So you knew all the time that you were into women.
I was trying. Like so, it's like this.
I don't want the whole visual thing.
It's like all right. When you're younger, like when around usually around 14 is when most of the people. Yeah, before the glow up. So around 14 is usually when everybody starts getting sexually active. And that starts to become, for men, as a validation. 14, 15, like, especially in your culture.
No, but it's like, as a late bloomer, it was shocking. Yes, some of us are sexually active, but I didn't think 14 was the age where it's a norm. Because if it's a norm at 14, then 12 or 10 is early, and 18 is late, so... That's really weird.
But you know why? Because you start looking at porn and magazine, and who do you see? You see women, right? But because you're already structuring your mind to that.
But not even.
Right.
But
so would you look at a gay porn magazine?
No, absolutely
Why
not.
not?
But what I'm saying is,
you're trying to be seeing if what you like really true to yourself.
What I'm surrounded by is like, all right, all my friends. I was like the last one, right? So they all talking about it to have sex. Like, so we 14, 15, and like they talking. I'm like, dang, well, how I get that? Like, I don't know. Like, that's how. Like, I'm excited about. I want that, and I'm.
So do you think you're straight because your friends are getting sex?
That's what I'm saying. The environment affects that.
What I'm doing, it was like, even though it wasn't happening, it never strayed my mind from being attracted to women.
Francia, I don't know. Like, it could go both ways. Where it's like, all my guys are with girls. I want to be with girls too.
It could have been
that's what I'm saying. The environment affects that.
Or it could have been like, it could have been like, all my guy friends are getting all these girls. Okay, these girls are not giving me the attention. Let me switch to.
So you chose,
but that's something that women do often,
that's what women do, and that's what I'm talking about. Get that bridge gap. But I'm saying that their curiosity is something that is temporary. You know what I'm saying? And it's because it's an acceptable behavior. They can do that. As a man, you would. If you even think that way, so that's what you are.
Wait, but that means he feels like he doesn't have a choice. Like society's telling him.
Going by society.
Yeah, so you don't matter whatever.
Because you decided to look at, like female magazine to, I guess jerk off or whatever to be interested into women. You decided.
That what made me interested to.
So that's my question to you guys. How do you guys all know that you're into women?
Well, the reason why I know is because I grew up with a lot of kids that went both ways. And I've been hit on by dudes for most of my life.
Yes. How do you feel? You liked it?
It used to bother me when I was younger because I didn't understand why men would hit on me, especially if I was with relax. Especially if I was with a woman or I was like with my girl or whatever. I always found it very odd that men would approach me and be like, oh, just compliments.
Okay.
It would make me uncomfortable especially because I was with someone that I cared about and I didn't want to be rude to them.
I just have a question. If another woman hit on you at that time, would you still feel uncomfortable?
Yes, I would. If I was with someone, absolutely, because this is my.
So it has nothing to do with him being a man.
It wasn't about. It wasn't about it being a dude. It was
because they were pushing.
My situation.
Okay, proceed.
But knowing that getting these compliments from men didn't make me feel good, even though like I can respect the fact that you think that way about me, cool, but like, don't touch me, bro. Like, don't look at my butt. Don't touch my butt.
So because of those, it made you realize that you was into women more than into men?
Yes, because if a woman gives me a compliment like that, even if I'm with my girl, I'm be like, damn, she peeped, you know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm talking about.
I'm still not going to be disrespectful to my girl, but I'm still going to appreciate the compliment because, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but you're saying that because you were in a relationship.
If I was single, I definitely would have.
Francia, are you gay?
Honestly, and I'm gonna say this.
There was a lot of delay there.
And I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I've been. No, I'm I'm proud of who I am. I cannot fake it because I don't owe nobody an explanation. However, I feel like for us to say, oh, I'm this, like you guys say, you can't be pick one because we have so much to live for. You still have a whole lifetime to explore. So as of right now, the only person I've been with has been a man because men only has hit on me. And I've been interested in men. That's all I was growing up
Let
to.
the camera know you're interested.
That's because I was in my upbringing. My mom said, a woman's supposed to have kids. The way to have kids is with a man, and this like that. And of course, the way I was growing up, I don't think it was appropriate to bring a woman home. But now living here and being in New York for so long, today if I bring a woman home, I think my mom. She will be confused because that's not a conversation that we had because all my life she knew that I was into men. But I don't think she would be closed-minded to it because people are growing and you have to evolve with the generation we're living in. You can't say I'm going to live in New York but have this mindset of back home. It's not happening.
So New York might make you gay.
Wow.
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying the environment
that's what
I'm
you're
in might
saying.
affect
Well
my
done.
sexual orientations.
No, there's
and
no
my
wrong with that.
behavior with women does not signify that I am gay, or my behavior with men does not signify that I'm only solely into men. It's just the moment that I'm in right now. I want to kiss a dude and I want to kiss a woman, but it doesn't signify who I am. Now, when I'm growing up, the people that I'm around, and the people that make me genuinely happy, like she said, if he happens to be a woman, that's what I'm going to go with,
So
Francia,
you feel like
there's
it's a
a lot of-
choice.
It's a choice.
Francia,
I think it's a choice.
You're not born this way. It's
there's a lot of
choice.
men like around me all the time, people that I care about, people that I love genuinely. I would never wake up tomorrow or the next day and think
Because you
about
have
being
this
into men.
mindset, you block, like you
It's not-
refuse to be
no.
open your mind. To know if you're into women, you have to taste a woman. You can't say I'm into women and you haven't really figured what a woman feels like. I think you have to realize what you're into. Like, to know, behavior has to happen before it's an actual, it's true to yourself.
Oh no, you can't tell me
Francia,
I'm like,
Francia. I'm one of the most open-minded people.
Amen.
I'm surrounded by this stuff every day. I've never woken up and said, "Wow, I wonder what it'd be like to sleep with this
because
guy."
earlier when you said it was kind of judgmental way, because you were like,
I really like.
"Ooh,
Yo,
don't look at my
this
butt."
is my
like
this is my guy. I really wonder what it'd be like to kiss this dude. Never in my entire life.
You are close, right?
Bao was one of my best friends.
Y'all close, right?
Absolutely.
On a scale of 1 to 10, let's say 10 or 11. So, okay. Y'all
I don't
friends.
understand.
But y'all close, right? And then you have love for this dude.
Absolutely. He's my
I'm
brother.
not saying you're in love with him.
No,
You have love
I
for this
understand
dude,
the
right?
concept of love,
Okay,
yes.
okay, great.
Thank you.
I'm glad
Thank
you
you
know.
for trying to clarify.
Now, with that being said, if the way you are like happy with him and you guys enjoy each other company,
Absolutely.
you having not even sexual, just like a love connection with him.
I love him like my brother. Absolutely. I love him like my little brother, like my cousin.
But you're saying you don't have no sexual.
Because
Bao is my brother. Like, I love Bao like I love my blood relatives, my brothers, my uncles. We've known each other long enough, and we've been through a lot of scenarios enough together. We've just been there for each other, where there's a support, there's like a foundation of an understanding, a brotherhood. So I have love for him. He's my brother, but I don't think that it's the same as being in love with, someone of the same sex. Francia. So
that's the thing with black men. Y'all trying so hard
It's not about me
tonight.
being a black man. You have to understand there's multiple concepts of love, right? There's agape love. Oh no, listen. There's multiple concepts of love. You have family love. You have someone you're in love with. Like, you love God, but you're not in love with God. There's so many different levels to love.
But if you spend enough time with people,
I love Bao like my brother. I am not in love with Bao. There's a difference.
That's fine.
There's a difference.
Okay,
so
there
I
is.
can love him as my bro, but doesn't mean I'll ever
And
in my
that's
life
fine.
be
But
in
some
love
people
with him.
just have
Completely
that
different types
mindset
of
because
love.
they refuse to explore.
No, it's not me refusing to
I feel
explore.
like- I
I'm
feel
not
like-
interested in my friend.
Hold on. I feel like you're kind of being.
I'm not interested in my friend.
I feel like you're kind of being hypocritical because
How?
like you're pushing these guys to explore.
can't
But
push
that
the
same
woman.
guy that comes to you and be like, I explored and I realized I don't want that. Now I want you.
But
You're
that's
not
for
doing
me.
it.
But that's for me. That's
But
speak for
not,
everyone
you can't-
else.
That's not fair. You can't push. You
But
can't
hold
push
on.
people to
I
explore,
have
explore,
though.
explore,
But
and not be
listen.
able to take that man
Yeah.
when he
But
has
I have-
explored
no,
and
no,
figured out that's
excuse
not
me.
what he
Do not
wants.
clap,
Come
do not
on.
clap.
Francia is being hypocritical because she's not gonna accept somebody that's been with the man before. So why would then in that case the person shouldn't accept her because she's been with a woman before, and she's pushing Bao and Tunde to be sexually attracted to each other when they're just not.
Bullshit, do not clap. Because
not
I have.
bullshit.
It is bullshit.
I don't
because-
like men. What's the
No,
issue?
listen, I have, and I told him I'm not comfortable
We're
with it.
done.
And I
Stop
moved
it.
on. What's the problem? Is that because I
Listen,
said,
listen.
how is that
Milan, she
fair?
can never push
No,
me.
she
I'm
was.
saying
She
people
was
that
trying.
have
She
was like, oh,
closed-minded
dude.
But
ideas.
most
I'm
women
not
feel like that.
close-minded.
Because
Most
I
of my
have-
friends
I
are
would-
gay. I'm not
Yo, hold on.
close-minded.
You have landed. Just welcome to New York.
Okay, thank you so
my
much.
thing is, that guy at the time, because I was talking to him, and even though he was gay and all that
sound
stuff, we're still talking to this day. I just don't want to have a relationship with him
You sound
because
hurt
I don't
about
want to
that
have.
She just
relationship.
called him gay right now.
Yo,
Is that
can I finish my
relationship
point? Can I
unresolved?
finish my point?
Let
though?
her finish your point.
Okay. He said he dealt with men before.
Okay.
And when he said that, it shifts something to me at the time.
Is it still
because
shifting
I was,
things for you right
today,
now?
I don't care. 'Cause
I'm asking you a genuine
right now
question.
you're
Are you
okay
still
with that?
bothered by that situation?
it has to depend on the person, though.
No,
because
I'm
for
asking
him,
specifically about him.
about him specifically,
Correct. Does
like
the
right now,
fact
it's
that
not
you
the
slept
fact.
with the man, does that still bother you right now?
No, it doesn't bother me right now.
Okay.
So he could approach you.
He could approach me. So many things happen with that person specifically that I don't think I would go into a relationship with him. That's what I'm saying. But I have been open-minded to not even date, but I have talked to guys that have been, that with men. I've been flirt with gay men sometimes, and even text.
But that doesn't count.
No, I know it doesn't count because that's still behavior. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that if I wanted to explore, I could. I'm not ashamed to
You
say I
chose
could
not to
explore.
explore.
But I tried and I didn't like it.
So
Period.
that was
Now
your
for the next
choice.
person, my advice is if you are afraid, don't be afraid. Try to explore because you will not. That could
God, I can't
determine.
believe you're saying
That's
that.
not because
You're pushing
I
an
did
agenda.
for me and
You're
I
pushing
realized
an
what's for me.
agenda.
Listen,
Not
nah,
for
you
you.
are
It doesn't
pushing
mean
an
because
agenda.
it didn't work for me that it's not gonna work for you.
Okay. I'm not
That's
interested
it.
in
You
that.
should just go with what you naturally
Want
feel.
what you
Nothing should be
naturally
forced.
want.
Don't force it.
What you want.
To be honest, in my personal opinion, there's never going to be anything that feels better than a vagina to me. I'm not
Hey, yo.
interested in men. I don't care. I have friends that are into
Would you date a
dudes.
transgender though?
What?
Yeah, that's a good question.
No, I didn't-
Not because
repeat-
transgender have vaginas.
Repeat the question.
A lot of
Repeat
would
the
you date
question.
a transgender?
Absolutely not. You know why? Because I know someone that has dated transgender, and it wasn't the best experience for them. It doesn't feel the same.
So you're dating
But you're
specifically
basing that
based
on
off of the
sex, though.
sexual
I'm not dating
experience?
specifically based on sexual anything.
Oh, let's
I'm simply, that's a good question though, because based on what I said, that's a valid
said.
question. No,
No,
that's a
you're not
valid
wrong.
question.
No, that's a valid
We're being
question.
objective.
Yeah,
We're being
because
objective.
it says
It's a valid
vagina feels the
question.
same.
At the end of the day, I have always been into women. I love everything. I love.
We don't need the whole detail.
I mean, what is there not to like about women? What is there not to love about women? I came from a woman, I think that women are beautiful in every way, shape, and form.
So Tunde, when he said that he loves vagina, first of all, he made that emphasize as if I was second guessing him. Like, you don't have to prove yourself. It's okay. But I feel like if you love vagina so much, why is it a problem if there's a transgender that changed their whole body to have a vagina? You love vagina, right? So you should love also this artificial vagina they have there. Like, you made it seem like vagina is what you love. So why is it a problem to have a transgender woman, approach you and trying to probably, get sexual with you? Like, I don't see the reason.
It's something that you involuntarily, you just can't control.
I
Yo,
don't
that's
think
what I'm
that's
saying.
what
It
you're
was something
doing.
that you
I
a different
agree.
situation. I just don't know any other way.
I don't think you can
that's you,
control
though.
what you're
That's just me personally. I
attracted
can't
to,
speak for
though.
everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think you can.
If I
I think
could,
that I don't think you can.
That's
I don't think you can control what you're attracted to. I think you can control what you act on. I think that. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all are. I think that. Let me not generalize. I think that the argument is sort of trying to make it one way or the other.
Yeah, I
And
agree with you
it's
on
the
that.
reason why we're going in circles is because it cannot be one or the other, because you can always find someone else that doesn't fit the answer that
agree.
you're giving.
I
You
agree.
have to understand gender and sexuality as a spectrum, and it's separate. Sexual orientation, sexual behavior, what you're acting on, etc.
Right.
It moves back and forth all of the time. And I also think along the exploration comment, I feel like you
Say.
If you know, you know.
You don't have to do in order to learn that it's wrong. Like you don't have to make every mistake or decision to then realize that it wasn't for you. You can take a moment, understand yourself, and be like, nah, this don't work. It doesn't work. Exactly.
Absolutely. And like I said before, like if it wasn't for my industry and what I do, I probably wouldn't be as comfortable with myself as I am now. Because before I got into the industry I was in, I didn't have that much interaction with people that identified.
I wasn't educated
at all. I wasn't getting that education at home. I wasn't really getting that education from my friends, even though I knew some of them went that way. They weren't even at liberty.
You're not as open.
They weren't. Some of them weren't as open. Some of them didn't come out yet, so they weren't even in a position to express themselves in a way where I could learn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I had no choice but to go into the world unaware and uneducated on the subject.
Yes.
So when I finally became educated to the subject, it changed my whole way of understanding that topic. I still don't understand all of it, but what I do understand is that people are interested in what they're interested in. There's not like a day I decided or knew like, oh, I guess I like women. I've never not been attracted to women. I don't know, for those that I guess are able to choose, God bless them. I just don't, I can't identify with it. I don't understand it, but I'm not in a position to tell them they're wrong.
I feel like it's a choice that happens it can happen at any point of someone's life. It can be an ongoing journey. It can be something that's solidified, like, okay, I know I'm straight. Mm-hmm. It could be you being attracted to people, not gender. Like, it's different, but you can't, I don't believe that people are born this way. I feel like it's a choice that occurs at some point in your life.
I think it's a part
and
of
that's just it.
The same when you watch Disney movies and you like Beauty and the Beast because you're programmed to act like Belle, or you watch Snow White and you programmed to act like Snow White. You watch Pocahontas and you're programmed to act like Pocahontas.
Right.
Or you watch Lion King, you're prone to act.
I disagree.
And you watch Lion King.
I was gonna say, I agree with what she said. That it's something.
Yeah.
You can't say it's either. You can't say. But I also want to say that sometimes I think that Africans most Africans that I know, especially when I was in Ghana, would not allow for the argument that you could be born that way specifically because it didn't agree with your religion. Like you just could not accept the fact that God would make you like that. Exactly. And so that's why I feel a way like I would never say that someone claiming to be born that way is not, true to that, because you don't know. We can't. I don't know why we take the liberty to just pick and choose what God is for and what he's not when we're all sent. Our sin is all equal in the eyes of the Lord.
But that's what people do. They assign God's judgment on certain things and don't want to apply to others.
But then again, that's people's opinions. You know, that's the freedom of having the choice of having your opinion.
But it can affect
so it doesn't mean because
run.
you think this way, I think that way, that's the case. It's not. It's just because right now we're learning.
But again, you're saying that because you're here. If you're in Africa, it's a completely different story. If I call somebody gay in Africa, it can have a lot of repercussions.
It can be death.
It can be
for
deadly.
the most part.
Here, there's a liberty of being able to call somebody something and identify and label them.
Freedom of speech
But even that freedom can be hurtful here too, because if you're in a certain position in society here too, it's like, oh, this person's gay, they've been hiding this for so long, it could be an issue. No, it could be.
Not anymore.
But the repercussions are not the same as it would be
of course,
at home,
because there's laws in place that prevent that.
Not even just that.
There's laws in place that prevent people from discriminating and harassing people
some
that
gays
decide
won't
to come out
shun
or
you
whatever.
for hiding though.
Yeah.
But that you could empower.
I mean, this is going I don't want to go too far to the topic, but I feel like the LGBT.
There's no P. What is P for?
What I said P.
It sounded like P. Go ahead.
Pressure.
LMNOP.
Well done. The community that were there since the Obama administration, their ascension to the forefront of what matters in the country has changed the whole narrative. So that's why I always say there's a struggle a bit, but it's not as much as you would think, because nowadays even in an office where I work, actually they might be the majority.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's become it's become the norm.
It's normalized. It's not a norm, but it's
you
normalized.
speaking against that actually have more social repercussions than you would even speaking.
I know people that
almost about saying something racist.
I know people that lost out on rules and lost out on jobs because they expressed in public that they were raised to not believe in same sex or anything. You
No,
know what I'm saying?
and it also
they
affects,
didn't realize
it
the
affects
person
this
that was
conversation
listening,
as well.
you know, went to HR and said this person doesn't like gay people, and it may
Right.
not have
And
been
that-
that. It may not have been that they didn't
talks.
like gay people. They may have just been like, hey, in my house, this conversation wasn't allowed.
And that was
You know
inappropriate
what I'm saying?
enough to just get you out of there
But-
because there's a big control
I've
factor
seen
they
it.
have now.
I also feel like if you know, you know, and if you're still in that exploration phase, still be in that exploration phase.
I agree.
But you can't I can't be like, I like girls. Now I need to prove that by being with the man. Like that's just not it.
Don't do it for fuck that. Don't
It's
do it
not.
for
It's
us.
what
Do
you
it for
feel
you.
naturally. Like there's no, I like this and I like that. If that's what you feel inside, then.
Oh, but you can like this and like that at the same time.
Hey.
It happens, right?
So I think that because my parents were, by the Bible, and man should be with woman should be with men, and that's how I grew up with, especially from my grandparents. Me personally, I think that I'm straight because of that, because that's how I was raised to think. That's my way of thinking right now, is that I should be with a man because my grandparents said that God said so. So that's why I'm straight. But had I had been raised in a different home where I had 2 gay parents, I may have not thought that way.
Even today, people are comfortable with being with each other. Like I can touch a girl's butt, I can touch a girl's boobs, and not be sexually attracted to her, and that's that. Like I don't think that if I know I'm straight, I don't need to be with a woman to explore that and confirm that I'm straight. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you can't dish it, don't give it.
People can decide to do what they want to do. I just feel like most gay people or people who call themselves gay decide to whether be with a woman or just be with a guy. So it's their choice.
I can't speak from the route of someone that chose or was born with it, but somebody that, like I said, is a late bloomer. I really didn't, when I became who I am, it wasn't something where I chose, it was just something that was already a part of me.
Thanks for watching, and if you liked this episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you next time.